Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football and pro wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week. If you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like to the video. It's a good week for covering pro wrestling as well, because football is kind of dead on the international break, as we well know. So we said we jump on Wednesday, our kind of usual kind of time slot. We were originally thinking Thursday, but we brought it back to Wednesday. We are going to be covering, of course, the Raw recap as always, and we will be especially focusing in on a number of issues in Raw. We'll give you a quick rundown on the results, obviously, from Sacrifice, and we'll give you our thoughts. We haven't watched it fully. We've been mainly watching the highlights and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about price gouging of the highest order at the moment in WWE, and it seems like WWE is beginning to lose its roots and its embodiment of what it's really about, which is pretty tough on fans. That is for sure. So we really need to look at that as well and have a conversation about it. It's gone crazy. We will be telling you about some fabulous news today around Clash at the Castle in Paris and the road to that and stuff like that. We will get to that later on in the show. And again, it might signal the epitome of price gouging as well. Let's see what happens, but we'll get Sean's thoughts on that as well. Sean will be giving us a full breakdown of OTT. Still a couple of mystery opponents to be decided as far as I know. If I have the latest, I'm not too sure. You might know, but I have it here in front of me on a slide, so you don't even need to be prepared at all. I told you to have a slide. We're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame and how ridiculous that is, the way that's gone as well. And we're going to be talking about our usual. We've an interesting insight into history as always, and some interesting notable birthdays. And again, in the comments, if you want to ask us anything, any question, throw them at us there. We'll do our best to answer them, and if we can't, then no one can. In there, Eric's in there under a different name, Jilly McPaddy.
Jilly McPaddy.
Good ring to that. That sounds like a 2001 Ring of Honor name, doesn't it? That was decided behind a curtain call or something like that. I'm going out here. What are you going to call me? You're Jilly McPaddy. There you go. Out there. Get out there.
I've heard way worse. Way worse.
There you go. Eric loves. Thanks for being in. But back under a different name again. That Cena promo was out of this world. It was. And we're going to talk about that. What I really want to find out tonight is your thoughts on that. But not only your thoughts on that, I want to see, has it brought Sean back around? Has it rekindled the love a little bit? Has it smoothed that landing? Gilly, not Jilly. Gilly McPaddy, even better. There you go. There you go. That's why I wear the glasses and you guys don't. Saying a point bomb from Acers, absolutely. SmackDown Dublin. See Acers with all the spoilers as usual. There you go. Gilly, not Jilly McPaddy. There you go. Right, let's start with this Raw recap and let's talk about it. We start off nowhere better to start in Brussels, Belgium, in a different crowd we would have thought. Kind of thinking, what's a crowd or pro wrestling crowd in Brussels kind of going to be like? And they were absolutely electric. Cena comes out, cuts the promo, doesn't mention 17 times, doesn't mention Cody Rhodes, has a go off the fans. And it was an interesting take by Bubba Ray on Busted Open Radio, where he said if he had to spoke for about another 30 seconds, the crowd might have started apologizing to him. Give us your thoughts on it.
You know the way you said that this would kind of smooth out the landing for me? This felt more personal than when he turned on Cody. Yeah, okay. Sean, I agree. Because he was just turning on someone I like, but this felt like he was addressing me personally and the fans. And the fact that he made us that supported him feel just as bad and just as guilty and just as ashamed as those who hated him all those years was really brutal. And I had a fear when he was going to cut his first promo, it was going to be a generic "you people" promo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because those promos, I think everyone does them when they turn heel. It's so easy to make it really generic and, I hate you and da-da-da. And he kind of did that. I've seen some people say they don't like this promo, and it was certainly a "you people" promo. But those kind of generic promos that we've seen a million times are okay if you do them right. Seen as one of the best on the mic ever. So it was blitzing. But the thing is, like, it was, I don't know. I'm not sure if I feel sympathy for him. Because when he's screaming like all these fans like turn their back on me and like it's always you and never what I want. I felt like giving him a hug or just put my arm around and saying like, Sean, but he just pushed it back in my face. I will say about the Brussels crowd, I've been to Brussels. It's an absolutely beautiful city and they speak French. So I had a feeling that they would have been just as good, if not better than Lyon.
Brilliant.
And turned out to be the case. And how refreshing was it to be able to just sit down and relax and watch Raw and not have to worry about staying up? Not have to, yeah. What I used to do is at 1 a.m. I'd set a timer on my phone for 3 hours. So I'd constantly be looking back, saying, okay, there's 2 hours and 10 minutes left, 1 hour left. I didn't have to do that. And I really, really like that they're doing this frequently. We're in Italy on Friday for SmackDown, which unfortunately I'm going to miss because of work. We're in, is it London or Glasgow first for Raw?
Glasgow.
I think it's Glasgow. And we're coming to London, and as we're going to get into, they're coming to Dublin, not for a house show, for Friday Night SmackDown. That's going to be broadcast on Netflix. Finally, after NXT UK TakeOver Dublin was taken away from us, we're getting a show, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I know we have a slide on it. But this was brutal. I don't think Cody really had to say too much.
No.
But I loved when John Cena was like, oh, listen, kid, I need to... And then Cody stopped him right away. And he said, this isn't kid. This is WWE champion. So he's showing Cena that you can say all this shit, but I'm here and you're here. And he said, look at that guy in the t-shirt. I want that, not some whiny bitch. And the worst thing is that would make me hate Cody and go, man, that's so cheap. Like, what a shit bag. But no, that actually resonated with me because it's very hard for you to see John Cena act like that and not think, man, he's just blaming everyone but himself. What happened? And it's not that the fans turned on him, well, not me. He made that choice for me. Like, I don't like disliking John Cena, booing John Cena, getting anger, contempt, and disdain when I see him on my screens, just like everyone else did. And yeah, I was just about to mention this. I loved how all this was about him and no one else. We talked that when he turned heel, new music, new outfit, everything. And I kind of sensed
chest hair, stubble.
Yeah. And I kind of sensed by the gear, the fact that they announced the Brussels collection was out. Farewell tour merch, and they've got a Glasgow one. They're going to have one for all the places
every single town.
But that wasn't going to change.
And you know something? That's kind of a heelish move in itself. Because although he's passing it and sticking it back to you, he's still stuffing the gear down your neck. And what was refreshing to me from a different point of view was when the camera panned back last night into the crowd, there was a lot of John Cena t-shirts on people, those Brussels ones. So and that encouraged me for my delivery that's arriving.
Yeah. And I think no matter what he does, that's going to be the case. There will always be people like myself who will hold on to him until his final breath. But one thing that kind of hurt is when he said that we ruined his retirement tour. Because when he announced that this is going to be his last year and he wanted to do something nice before he steps away forever, that we were like, what do we get? Does John Cena come to my hometown? Who does he... Like, it was always about us, never about him. That's what he was saying. And that really resonated. And the fact he said, like, oh, I find it so funny that 2 minutes ago you were telling me to go fuck myself. And now when I announce I'm leaving, you cheer. You're just proving my point. And it's really tough. And I think it's only going to progress from here. But I think for a starting point, this was so good. Easily my favorite thing on the show. 30 minutes for a promo in this age is ridiculous. But if it's good, it's fine. And they used every bit of it. John Cena, Cody, and the Brussels crowd absolutely all played their parts. Pour that in front where, I think he's going to be a wrestler one day in Avenge. But the fact that he picked on him personally, if he just said, oh, this kid here, and then they never showed him, but they put the camera on him. So it felt like it was all this rage was being vented towards this child who looked maybe like 7 or 8 years old.
This was kind of a moment that will be used in future Titantron or promo videos or something like that. They highlighted this guy and he was in tears and he was head to toe in Cena gear. And it's like as if they're thinking, We'll talk you around. We'll keep on supporting you. We'll win you back. The Rock has poisoned your mind. We'll find a way to get you back. You're our guy, kind of thing. This is kind of like, it's like that kind of superhero villain kind of thing. That dynamic and stuff that. And I thought like the pops last night were unbelievable as well. Really, really loud. And especially the way he didn't have to mention Cody. He didn't have to lay a hand on Cody. Cody didn't have to lay a hand on him. And I think that will happen for a few weeks before eventually, I think probably a couple of weeks before Mania, 2 weeks out, maybe, whatever it is. That's when they'll start laying hands on each other, when the Rock is kind of back in around it and stuff like that and all.
Yeah.
But I reckon this will all kind of come full circle with, how the Rock poisoned my mind and, he offered me a place on the board of TKO or whatever it is, this kind of thing. And then the Rock doesn't follow through, and we'll just get that kind of switch back, So it'll be very, very interesting.
So do you think we're getting as Father Douglas said, well, like last time, it won't happen again, part of the retirement tour where he is just, it's like, oh, sorry. Well, like last time, Ted, it won't happen again. He's back to babyface Cena that we know and love.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the fact that he got this reaction from us, and as he said, didn't mention Cody, didn't mention The Rock, certainly didn't mention Travis Bloody Scott, and which I still don't know why he was there. And before people complain about him, like, oh, like it doesn't matter, I saw someone take some of the biggest wrestling moments in history, title wins, heel turns, face turns, whatever, with Travis Scott in the background. It is and it's because it's fixated into my brain, but it's unbelievable how much it took away from it. Someone put him in the back of Gargano and Ciampa turning on Gargano at that takeover in Black and Gold NXT. Useless. But that's a small point. But the fact he did all those things were factors. Those were all our questions. He didn't answer any of them. Like I said, no mention of The Rock, no mention of Cody, no mention of Travis Scott, no mention of the Rumble. And the fact that he did that and he's gotten this reaction out of us is absolutely insane. And I think John Cena, I know he was just as bad as we all made him out to be back in the day. But right now he is on another level and he absolutely deserves this spot and this attention. It's unbelievable that he can, I don't know about say so little, but do so much. But as we said, we want to know, why did you side with The Rock? What did The Rock say? Why do you hate Cody? Why did you... Didn't say anything.
Well, see, he's the opposite now, because for years he spent so much time doing so little and saying so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, he's flipped it on its head. And you look at that picture even there in the slide, the intensity and the vile venom in the way he's delivering this. And I sort of looked at it and I was thinking, like you, they go the normal route, change the music. You might get back to the Doctor Tokenomics kind of thing. Yeah. You might get a bit of battle rap and all that kind of stuff and all, and they get a bit cheesy and then they flip it back. But like, he's really like, you can tell he has sat down probably with H and a few people and all and go, right, how do we bring this right into the pits of hell? How does this become Kane without the mask?
Toxic,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But some of the words like toxic relationship, and abusive relationship, and like you've used me as an object and all that, like that hit so hard because John Cena was that. He was a merchandise seller. He was a company man. He was a yes man. He was like Superman. You know, this generic superhero who just is like really popular but has a legion of fans. And it made me think like, yeah. And it could just be because it's still raw. But I don't think, personally, I don't think I have done anything. I stuck with John Cena from day one through thick and thin when he did things that would turn me off any other company now, like at my age now. Stuck with him, wore those shirts, those hats, those towels, those wristbands, those chains. Even
took that wave of crap for doing it.
Took the wave of crap for doing it. Even made my parents pay all the stuff for the counterfeit Cena stuff from wrestling.ie shows, which I only found out when I went in the shop last time that they were counterfeit. So I'm a bit annoyed about that, but that's not the point. But I stuck with him. And it feels like like Cody said, I wanted to hear him out.
Yeah.
I wanted to give him a chance, but he threw it back in my face.
Yeah.
In a good way. And I am incredibly excited to see where this goes. And the one thing I am happy about with this retirement tour, he's going to do loads, but for tonight, he got to experience a European crowd. If he did this in like Delaware, I don't know, America, I don't know if it would have hit the same. And it turns out the crowd were chanting, "Shut the fuck up," and they were also saying, "This is a bitch."
Yeah, this is a real different level to shirt out, shirt in, shirt out, shirt in, shirt out, shirt in kind of thing. You know, this is on many different levels. And listen, there ain't a whole lot PG about this either. This is not only have I stuck the knife in the wound, but I'm now dragging it right down your whole side and twisting it at the same time.
Twisting it and put squeezing lemon juice into
it. Like, it's mad. Okay. We're 16 minutes into the show. We haven't spoke about a headlock. We haven't spoke about a drop kick. We haven't spoke about a lockup. This is the level it's at. I don't know what would happen if both those guys show up, and I don't know what way it would kind of go.
If they were going to bring Austin in to do anything with The Rock, it should have been last year. But I could see Rock coming up because I've no doubt he's gonna pop up again before Mania.
Well, we know we're gonna get the long story Mania main event potentially for New Orleans or something like that. That's gonna happen. They're gonna pop.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, so we shall see. Dino's in, who's going to Vegas with me, my buddy for Vegas as always.
Oh, no way.
Gonna be some pop when he finally returns to face before his retirement. Yeah,
that apology promo was gonna hit like crack.
Yeah. I actually think the return to face will be at Mania. Rock will interfere and get laid out by Cena.
He accidentally lays him out and goes, "Actually, no, I never liked you anyway." And then babyface.
Yeah. You ain't getting that spot on the board.
But does it work? And I was thinking about this. Does it work for... Excuse me, I'm getting excited. Does it work? Does it add to Cena's despair and heat if he doesn't win at Mania? It's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is.
Because you would think naturally, like, it's his last Mania, let him win 17 just so he can... But I don't know. I've no idea.
It's so many levels, you see, because we got The Rock wanting Cody's soul. And it feels like Cena's kind of, you know, your second thing on the list that you want.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, like, it's kind of, I've gotten Cena, but I've so much history with him. But Cody's the champion, but it's his soul that I want. You know? So maybe he's getting Cody's soul, and maybe this is all going to be a big ruse. Let's see what happens.
And another thing about The Rock, at Bad Blood, he did this.
Yeah.
3. Cena was 1, so there's 2 more.
Yeah.
So who are the other 2?
And remember, we do still have a CM Punk favor in the background that we don't know what that's going to lead to or what's going to happen there. Dazzler, if Austin turns up while I'm actually in the stadium, there's a chance I enter the ring too. I think he will turn up. This story has the makings of something special. It does. Listen, Vegas ain't going to tolerate that and accept something crazy. Eric's in. I think it's funny how, while at the time people didn't think too much on it, I noticed how at the Rumble press conference he emphasized on how he needed to win the 17th world title. People were talking about this being his first heel promo. In theory, for me, his first heel promo was the presser right after the Rumble.
I didn't think so. I thought he was just disappointed because he had a big goal and the floor got pulled out from under him.
Yeah, but he also now remember he turned around and dropped the line. I've done everything for this company, and now it's about me.
Yeah, but then he saved it when he said, "I'm going to win 17, so I can shake the hand of the man who wins 18." I'm like, that's him being respectful because he wants to go on top. But no. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and say, don't listen to it, don't trust it.
Yeah. Stick to movies. And then at Elimination Chamber, it was very uncharacteristic when he immediately took advantage of Rollins attacking Punk. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but then again, like, that was a big match, and he had to do whatever it took to win. But again, that was 20 minutes. If I could get a time machine, go back 20 minutes, say this is part of the plan.
Yeah, make sure that's in, folks. Make sure you check out Ian. He's on Instagram and stuff like that. There's a tribute Tin Lizzy band. It's called Soldiers of Fortune. Make sure you go over there and give them a like. As far as I know, they were in Fibbers the other night as well. They're doing gigs around the place as well. So make sure you support them. And also check out Ian as well. Ian does a bit of podcasting, and he's a Chelsea fan as well. So he's on Twitter there, Chelsea Roar as well. Make sure you're giving him a follow. Yeah.
Tin Lizzy or Lynn Tizzy.
Yeah, Tin Lizzy.
What What is Lynn Dizzy doing in the impact zone?
Michael Cole on commentary calling Cena prick was magical.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you. Absolutely.
The fact he can be human and express himself is a very, very welcome addition. And he doesn't have an old senile man screaming in his headset.
Yeah. Or getting wrapped up in bubble wrap and all that kind of stuff.
Anal bleeding.
But I think Cena will turn face in November, December before he officially retires, since he seems adamant on retiring and no doubt will want to end his story as a good. I think this whole thing is a setup for Cena Rocket New Orleans. I don't think there's any way this guy's retiring in December. I think if you get that swerve the next night on Raw, mark my words, the next night on Raw, they're going to come out and they're going to make the main event for New Orleans. It's going to be Cena versus Rock.
Imagine telling someone in 2013 that you're going to have Cena Rock 3.
Volcano eruption.
Yeah.
There would have been meltdown.
Yeah. But the thing about the work, I would love that because I don't want Cena to go. But he's not getting younger. He's not getting any more time to be in WWE. So I think that is a work. And also, can you imagine?
Cena Rock New Orleans is Rock Hogan 18.
Yeah. But then imagine it turns out it is work and everyone's sitting there with their John Cena farewell tour merchandise. And then he brings out the same line of it when he actually is retired.
He's only extending it. Because every shirt says the last time is now.
But he said But he said at Money in the Bank, WrestleMania in Vegas will be my last. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'd love this promo, but we've took 20 minutes of it. We need to move on quick.
I think Cena will turn face in November. So it seems, it's the same when they post it twice.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No bother, Eric. Right, let's run down through the rest of it then. Penta defeating Ludwig in a no-holds-barred match.
Yeah, very, very, very good. I think the European crowd, well, obviously with Kaiser, we're into Ludwig Kaiser. Penta's electric. Really, really strong match. Fun. Works for both men, and it gave Penta some direction. Because I feel Penta's just been winning matches. We haven't really got any insight into what he could be doing. But now that picture in the top right and his promo earlier and the backstage segment where they looked at each other, very clear where it's going.
It's been such a smooth transition in for him as well, hasn't he? He's been well received and stuff.
Yeah,
really, really well done.
And I was just about to say, but then I don't know if they'd have Braun Breaker lose, but he lost Sami Zayn, remember? And then he beat him in like 2 minutes. So I don't know.
If that goes Penta's way, that would be a massive leap. But then I assume they might be thinking of Braun Breaker then if main event Jey Uso takes the world title, the heavyweight one, then it might be that he lifts up out of that IC position and you get him versus Jey Uso and eventually we get Braun Breaker as world heavyweight champion.
Possibly, yeah. I could definitely see him win the world championship at some point because he's that good.
Yeah,
but no, this is really good stuff.
Dakota Kai defeated Ivy Niall. Seems like they're kind of testing Dakota's resolve, but I think there's gold in her future, isn't there?
Like she's one of these people, one of the best to never win gold. And I feel it's just become a meme where there's a title in line, singles title, she ain't winning it. But I would like to because she's really good. She's very likable. She's been around the block a little while, and I think something like the Women's Intercontinental title that our friend Lyra has is something that would really benefit her.
Yeah,
in the future, obviously. But no, another good win for Dakota Kai.
Absolutely,
and good for Ivy Niall to get her head away from American Made and Mr. America Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Io Sky and Bianca Belair. We had the contract signing. Then we had Rhea came out and absolutely launched a headbutt into Bianca Belair. Absolutely massive headbutt. Storms off, puts her own name on the contract as well. Do you see this triple threat being ratified?
Yes. And I'll explain why. And I'll go back to John Cena. SummerSlam 2021 was meant to be Roman versus Finn. Roman said, "Oh, John Cena looks the same. Yeah, not wrestling him." So they had the contract signing on SmackDown. Bum-ass Corbin, which is probably my favorite thing Baron Corbin did, came out, tried to sign the contract, and Cena took him out and signed his name on the contract. Paul Heyman said it says Finn's name on the contract. And Adam Pearce is like, "No, but Cena signed it." So yeah, Cena reigns. And even though he's saying that's not going to happen, which with Rhea, I know it is. It's not a match I'm scrambling to see. I feel Rhea has cooled down just a little bit. I think Io and Bianca on their own would have been absolutely fine. As in, like, really solid match. No need to do too much. Just let them go at it. But you know, give Rhea something to do, I suppose. I feel bad for Adam Pearce because he said, "I very much appreciate that this didn't remain physical, that this remained professional, and we didn't get this is my brutality." And then she comes storming down, and in a second, everything goes haywire.
Yeah, goes from professional to unprofessional, just like that. Boom.
Yeah,
backstage the whole thing. Yeah.
Has there ever, and I mean this, like, not just WWE, but has there ever been a wrestling contract signing that has been Party A signs their name, Party B signs their name, end of segment, next match, no violence, nothing?
No, because it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
God, it'd be so boring. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
you pay to see paperwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Jey Uso defeated Austin Theory.
Oh man,
the 1, 2, 3 from the cross body.
I am not enjoying the build for him and Gunther. Austin Theory. It's crazy to think that not only 2 years ago he beat the man we were speaking about, John Cena, and the opener of WrestleMania. And I don't know what happened to Austin Theory. Like, they were hyping him up.
And not only that, has the balls to charge us nearly $400 for breakfast with him on the morning of WrestleMania. But we will be talking about that. Don't worry.
Yep. My God. Yeah. No. A good squash. I suppose, you know, he was getting. The thing with Netflix is they go black. For me, anyway. I don't know if I have a special subscription, but they go black on ads. And then 2 seconds later, they come back. And they're showing me dark stuff, so him cutting the promo. And Theory and Waller were getting heat. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, him chatting all this about Brussels and then getting beaten so easily is funny. And gets a pop the crowd, but it doesn't build Jey Uso. And it would be fine if he was doing anything else when he's competing for the second biggest belt in the company on the biggest wrestling show of the year. It's not good enough. Now, saying that, there's been a lot of matches at WrestleMania, title matches, that have completely underwhelmed in build and then gone
on the night.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about Bianca and Sasha at Mania, the first one back with fans in Raymond James. Build for that was so bad.
Yeah.
The match is brilliant. Same with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. I mean, I think that final Raw before Mania was probably one of the worst ever. And it ended up being an absolute, like, show stealer. That whole Mania actually was brilliant. One of the best in the modern era. So I am hopeful that they can do that. But the thing is, I've no doubt that Jey Uso is going to beat Gunther this time. What do you do with Jey Uso after? Because I feel once Mania ends and we have a chance to breathe, we're going to go straight back to this. And he's fun for a upper mid-card guy that gets the crowd chanting and yeeting, but as the world champion, singles.
Well, see, champion, that's why I mentioned Braun Breaker earlier, because I think maybe I think it'll be quite short-lived as well. I think he'll keep it till SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's in August, is it?
Yeah. So I think he'll keep it for 3-4 months, whatever it is. And I think at SummerSlam you could see someone like a Braun Breaker winning the belt. I would think, or maybe it's an opportunity to inject in there the likes of a Finn Balor or something like that, or something. You know what I mean? I don't know something, but you know what I mean. It needs someone to go in there, because I think as much as people are in on the yeet and all that kind of stuff and all, it kind of feels like it has a shelf life. Now, we said this for years as well about some of John Cena's stick as well, but maybe not, I don't know. But I think the crowd will carry it at WrestleMania, because they know they're getting Jey Uso. He's going to get the belt. So that will mean something to them, because he's brought them kind of on this journey, this kind of Daniel Bryan yes movement. you know. And
No,
but
I totally agree about. Sorry to cut you off. I totally agree about what you say with shelf life. But speaking of Finn, there's only one thing they need to do with Finn, nothing else, and we'll probably get to it. Get to when we get to the main event, but it involves dissociating himself from the Judgment Day. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm hopeful that they will give Jay something after he wins. But just now, at this minute, they're not making me want to see him wrestle Gunther, and they're certainly not making me want to see him, lead the World Championship into a new era.
I don't think that's what they think. That's probably the outcome, I think what they'll do is I think they feel there's probably an obligation there to follow through on the commitment, and then once that commitment is done, then we're preparing to move on and stuff like that. I think that's the way it will feel.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
So in fairness, it's kind of felt a bit like that way with Gunther as well, that they put a world title on him, and it felt since they've put it on him, they've been working towards taking it off him, as opposed to elevating it, that kind of way.
But I love Gunther, so all things stop, only doing incredibly. Yeah, but then the thing is, people will complain about a reign being too long just as much as they'll complain about a reign being too short.
Yeah, you need to know when is the time, don't you?
It's very difficult to get like a good in between length of time, I think, for things like that. But I see what you mean.
I was saying, Jay and Gunther should go first at Mania, not selling at all. Gunther is fantastic, but it's just not electrifying the crowd. I think Jay wins, but that run won't last long.
Yeah, I mean, Gunther's an absolute stud. He's like the only like old school style hard man wrestler that I think is around currently, and he's been pretty backlash.
Yeah,
backlash. That'd be good. I don't know. I'm just thinking if they did like a pay-per-view during Black History Month or something.
Yeah, Cena versus Orton at Backlash. I don't know. Is it?
Speaking of Orton, we'll have to see what happens to him in KO. When is Backlash? Is May, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
They won't have built anything towards it.
They won't have any time at all. It's like in the middle of May.
Backlash. It's about 3 weeks after Mania because Mania is late.
Yeah,
Mania is 1920.
Yeah, so. There's no way they'll build that in time. Absolutely not. I mean, good idea, but if they had the time and built to it, I think that would be. I don't know. Let's see.
Sami Zayn will probably win Royal Rumble match in Saudi Arabia in January.
I'll tell you one man who's not winning, it's CM Punk.
No,
and I'm still very upset that that's happening. The Rumble in Saudi. Yeah. Just like this Raw, we'll get to watch it at an early start time, but that is where my pros for it starting.
Yeah. As he said, Eric, I think it's finding the balance really, because what happens is once you start flicking titles around and you start booking in that kind of way, you're kind of devaluing the title as well at times, So you need to be really careful with it. But I think Jey Uso 4 months like that world heavyweight belt has seemed to have a tough time being received in and legitimized, like the big gold. Doesn't carry the lineage of it, you know what I mean? They're trying to build it, and it's difficult. We talk about Gunther and how he built that IC belt up into its importance and stuff like that. It hasn't happened in the world title.
And if I was to trust one of the two to build the world title, to get it anywhere close to the Intercontinental title or the big gold, it wouldn't be Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah. Would it be Braun Breaker?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very hot on him at the minute, so I think anything, but it needs work.
Yeah.
To get it there.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see Braun Breaker with a world title and maybe with someone on his side. If he had a Heyman on his side or something like that, would really solidify that package or something,
Yeah, but then that's
because I'm not sure coming out of all this where Heyman's going to land, because he owes Punk the favor, then it's done. He's cowering from Roman, then it's done. So where does he land? He's going to have to find himself kind of a new stable or something.
A new Paul Heyman guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to find himself that new Brock Lesnar kind of thing,
and Braun is that guy.
Braun is that guy and can be that guy, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee defeated the Creed brothers.
the two members of the LWO I can name without looking up, and the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
Good match. The crowd with the European crowd, absolutely adore Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And Dragon Lee is no slouch.
No.
It's very easy for him to get lost within
Yeah.
the LWO, but he is seriously talented. The Hurricane Rana he did to the outside onto was it? I can't. One of the Creeds. I know their names, but I can't remember who he did it to.
Apollo.
Apollo. Yeah. For a minute, I almost thought that was someone, like someone on the show. No, that was really cool. Good for the LWO to get the win. Don't really know what else there is to say about this.
No, absolutely not. Seth Rollins then pulling a promo.
I felt a bit bad for the Belgian fans because hyping up that he wasn't going to do it here, he was going to do it in Italy. I don't think any of those fans are going to Italy. Yeah, Roman being inserted into this feud made it flat for a few people. So they need to kind of put the pedal to the floor with some action, and I think Seth showing up will do that. But then who does he target first is the thing I want to know. I'd say possibly Roman more so, because he's beaten Punk already, and Roman attacked him after the match. It's kind of hard to think where to go with this. I will say they sang his song maybe a hair too long. I'm not looking forward to seeing the other crowds across the UK and across Europe.
Does this match feel like someone else is going to go in? Is this going to be a 4-way?
I don't know.
This seems kind of imbalanced or leaned in a certain way. You got 2/3 of the Shield on one side, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then you've got Punk out here, which he sails his own ship anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know people are a little uneasy with Roman being in there in the first place. I think people kind of just wanted it to be Punk and Seth, and I think they lost people adding Roman. And if they don't add the right person for this, it'll totally fall flat. But we spoke about this. It's a 3-way, and it's not for anything. So if they add someone else, it'll feel just as not pointless, but like stakeless. And I don't think they want that with 4 big stars at their biggest show of the year. But like Seth, Roman, and Punk, you put them in the ring, there's no way they're not going to have anything but a great match. So I'm still looking forward to it, even if
I always worry about the 3-ways. You know that I always worry about it.
Yeah, but they always go up and over for Mania. 3-ways and also WB as a whole.
Big up, Stephen. Good to see you, pal. John Cena turning heel in his last year is very confusing.
Yeah, I was kind of saying that.
Stephen, who you telling?
Yeah.
I'm the most confused. I'm so much on the line here.
But I think the more we see him, the more clarity we'll get, and we'll all be on board. But I'm very on board just from the promo.
Yeah, we won't really understand it till it all kind of comes full circle. And then we round out obviously Braun Breaker defeating Finn Balor in the IC match, and obviously Dominic getting involved with the distraction and all that, and then Penta appearing out of nowhere.
We need to get Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day as soon as possible. Because
what would you like to see? What would you like to see them doing?
Old team, jacket, able to win a match with his life on the line.
Yeah.
Could they do Intercontinental Champion? Honestly, they could build. It's when you see this Finn Balor now, very easy to forget that he has beaten Seth Rollins, has beaten Roman Reigns, has beaten John Cena, and has beaten a plethora of other people in his time.
A great match with Brock Lesnar as well.
Brilliant match with Brock.
We forget.
And he didn't win that match, but it was absolutely fantastic. He is so, and I'm not just saying this because he's one of our homegrown, but he is unbelievably talented in that. And the fact that they've dropped the ball on him as hard as they have is shocking. And the Judgment Day is not doing him any favors, and it seems like Dominic's trying to secretly kick him out. People are saying that's a bad thing. That's honestly, I think, the best thing that can happen to Finn Balor right now, because he's not getting crowd reactions. The European crowd, you could literally do the Andy Kaufman thing of sitting at a desk and eating ice cream and saying nothing, and the crowd to be all over you, and not even a crowd as enthusiastic and happy and jovial as Brussels gave him anything. Meanwhile, a few years ago, he was getting huge pops. Like I was thinking today, the Royal Rumble in 2018 in Philadelphia.
The one I was
Not
at.
even, yeah, amazing show. Not even 10 years ago, he was number 2, and he got a huge pop, and he was in the final, like 5 or 6. And now we can't even buy a win to save his life. He needs to get out, and I think they could we're talking about leading the world heavyweight championship. He could, if they let him do his thing and they build him properly away from the Judgment Day, I think he can absolutely reach those heights.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They have a lot of making up to do. But until then, we're going to get Finn Balor. I didn't expect him to win this match at all. Like, I don't think anyone did, even for a second. But I know, and Braun Breaker, there's no loss in losing to him because he's that dominant. But it's one more loss on Finn's record, and you can't have too many, and he has loads. And it's a shame that Triple H's run as creative has boosted so many people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, not everyone has been boosted. Some people have gotten worse. Some people have stayed. When I see Finn, I don't get excited. I don't feel dread. I just feel nothing.
Will it mean more then? Will it mean more when it does come full circle then, and he does break away because they built it? Or do you think they're pushing it too far that they may not be able to recover it?
He's lost so much over the years that if they do it, which I assume they will, I don't even know if they're going to reach the heights again. He could just end up like Shinsuke or any of these other guys that were great and just kind of got lost.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it, Eric? That Carlito's going to be the forgotten son, isn't he? Like, this is what's going to happen. There is no doubt about it. If this happens, because like when you think about it, they barely have time for what they have on the roster as it is. So if you take 4 people in or 5 people, whatever you want to do it in a thing, and JD still has to come back as well.
Yeah,
how do you fit all those guys in, and how do you find ring time for all them? We spoke about, remember when the New Day were breaking up? We thought. And we said, well, what way is this going to go? What are they going to do with Kofi and Xavier? And if Big E came back, and where does it all fit in? And how do they all get time to become still,
2 words.
Important? Yeah.
Sadly, 2 words: Speed Championship.
Yeah, Speed Championship, Evolve, NXT,
ID.
ID, yeah, all these kind of things. Maybe turns into a fatal 4-way for number 1 contender spot. Maybe Balor ends up involved. Interesting.
You wouldn't win that, though.
Interesting. No, and this is the problem, you see. And yet, in that match, he'd have probably picked up wins against all 3. Maybe not sure about Punk. I'm sure he has at some stage, but
not sure about Punk. But the other 2 absolutely has. One of them being in a Universal title match, and the other one being the big dog Roman Reigns on Raw.
John Cena's promo did not make any sense. Let us know your thoughts on it, John. In what way did it not make sense to you? We'd love to hear. Expand on that and let us know your thoughts. Stephen, I'd love Alberto. Stop now, Stephen. Stop.
Did you see?
You're reaching now.
Yeah, I didn't read into it too much, but apparently he's been banned from wrestling in Tijuana over something that happened in AAA.
If you're banned from wrestling there now, you have a real problem, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't know what he did, but it probably didn't help himself.
That's a real problem. I thought he was great. I loved his feuds with Big Show and Jack Swagger back.
Oh, yeah. And his entrance, the team coming out of the car and Ricardo Rodriguez, I thought that was all tremendous. But I don't know. Really been waiting.
Unless he gets that much.
But it's the same with Finn. It's the same with Finn. He's done so little that even if you do turn him face or get him away from what he's doing now, I don't know if it's gonna.
And the whole thing with Finn is weird as well when you think about the power yield in there from Triple H and stuff like that and all, because Finn's one of his guys. Yeah. Finn's one of his NXT guys kind of thing. He brought him in kind of thing,
But so's Gargano and Ciampa, and they've been flatter than pancakes.
Yeah.
And Machine Guns are the 2 guys he would look for if he was scouting. And even then, that match with DIY should have been class, and it was just grand.
Is it just that because there's so much going on, we can only kind of zone in on stuff? Like if we hadn't got all this other stuff going on, not going on, but if it wasn't as good as it is, like if Cena wasn't dropping 20-minute promos at the start of Raw that are so in shock of like, and everyone's tuned into it. Would those other teams, would there be more focus on them, and would they be getting more focus and all? And
yeah,
I don't know.
Partly, but at the same point, all this time, John Cena is pretty much semi-retired and seasonal, and The Rock only came back a while ago. Yeah, but the thing about the Demon is lost embarrassingly to Roman Reigns, lost to Edge in a really good match that he probably should have won. I don't know. But yeah, I say that with Finn, like John Cena coming back and The Rock and everything is obviously huge.
Do you feel with Balor when he breaks away from the Judgment Day that they're going to have to cocoon him, if you like, and he's going to have to come out as some form of the Demon or something like that
at some point? But that has to be saved for special occasions. But the thing about Finn and John Cena, without John Cena, like they had all this time. John Cena has only been on one pay-per-view this year, with two. Hasn't shown up on TV since. So they've barely showed up at all last year. Once, I think, for announcing his retirement, and once at Mania. So all that time in between, they've done nothing with Finn. So I don't think Cena helps necessarily just by how good that storyline is. Like we spent the first 15 minutes of the show talking about it, but it's not something that I think, like if he just didn't do the retirement tour, retire tomorrow, no match, nothing would change for Finn. It'd still be the same. So I don't know, but I'm hopeful because Finn is so talented and worth so much more than what he's doing right now. I think.
And we forget for some of those guys how long they've been wrestling. Like Finn's been wrestling God knows how long at this stage.
He opened.
The clock is ticking as well.
Yeah, Finn Balor, along with Paul Tracy, opened the first ever professional wrestling school in Ireland. Trained Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch was like a teenager. Yeah, that old. So how can you have someone that good and not make him a star?
He trained Becky Lynch when Becky had to lie about her age to get into the class.
Yeah,
and now look at Becky now. Becky's now, absolute superstar. Movies, series, wrestling, voted the #1 women's wrestling ever by Sports Illustrated. She's now a mother. She's a wife. And you're looking at all that and you're going, where did that time go?
Yeah,
like it's crazy what they.
I remember when she was steampunk girl on NXT.
That's it. Before steampunk, I remember she was Irish dancing Becky on NXT. Don't want to talk about that though. You don't want to dwell on that. When I saying that, I went, "Oh no, this can't happen. Please, no. This girl's put in such work. Oh no,
I couldn't wait to see her promos.
Fire who's ever backstage and brought that up and thought of that idea. Acers NXT Battleground versus AEW Double or Nothing, May the 25th. Isn't that a statement that resonates at how good WWE is doing at the moment?
It's a pity because
the struggles in AEW.
I would like to watch both. I'd assume Battleground to be on at like maybe 11 or 12, and then AEW be 1.
John, this is where you have a TV.
Yeah, 2 screens and a split screen. Yeah, no, I'll just do that. It's fine. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. We can have Orange Cassidy versus Penta again.
Yeah.
But not the same. Right, let's have a quick look at this. Look, we said at the start we didn't really look at it much or take it in much. It felt kind of weird. It looks kind of weird when you look at it there, even on paper. What do we say about it? We already spoke about Moose as an X Division champion. Feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
You put him then into a ladder match with Jeff Hardy. Feels even weirder.
Jeff Hardy master ladder match doesn't win the ladder match.
Yeah, and then
my God.
The main event you have in there as well, it just goes weird, and then obviously Nick Nemeth and they turn and all this kind of thing. It's just I don't know. It's just this was another one of those, and it's weird for TNA as well. This kind of thing. It's like, let's get everyone on the roster somewhere on this. And you really don't need to do that.
No, and look, and everyone in there is good, but it does feel like, have you got this person on, this person on, this person on? Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
I think TNA, I don't think since Scott Demore left anyway, I don't think I ever properly got back into it. There's just no itch. Now they have some amazing talent. They have the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
They have Mustafa Ali, Santana,
they've
Steve
loads of
Macklin.
talent.
Yeah, tons of talent. Like a great roster on his own, but it's very difficult to. And it could just be because there's so much wrestling on in a week, and I've only so much time in a week.
Yeah,
I find it very hard to fit in.
I did say the spot where he stapled your man to the turnbuckle. Did you see that?
My God!
Oh,
yeah.
and then he runs and he hits him in the corner, and his face springs off the turnbuckle where it was stapled to him.
As bad.
And then just for that, that spot on the chair. Oh,
yeah, just as bad as Steve Macklin stapling PCO's mouth shut.
Yeah,
and then PCO ripping it out with pliers. Jesus Christ! I met that man. He's so friendly and quiet and polite, and he does that. PCO, not Steve Macklin.
This is good. Stephen comes in here. Imagine Balor joining the Wyatt Six.
Oh my
Dave straight away. Stephen, who are the Wyatt Six?
Oh no, they haven't even been away like 3 months. But that's a terrible idea. My God. Yeah, Vince McMahon and Rebecca Quinn. God.
Vince McMahon.
I saw Vince. I didn't see Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for her. Hopefully they weren't too close. No, this was fine. I'm interested to see where Nick Nemeth goes. He's always been a great heel. Interested to see where that goes. Is
that not a kind of a treadmill moment for us? Do we not say this nearly every month? I'm looking forward to seeing where this Nick Nemeth thing goes.
But like I think TNA is like a fresh breath of fresh air for him. So that's why I'm hopeful. But if this is in WB, I'd be rolling my eyes and like, I can't believe they're trying to do this again. But TNA have got some great wrestlers. I just wish I had the chance to fit it in my schedule, and they need to do something.
Finn could join the Final Testament. I'll wait.
Yeah, and even if he did, for sacrifice gas. Yeah, I didn't see anything like that. Any promo was like, well, it's very hard for any promo to be as bad as that one was, but like. Yeah. I found out about Sacrifice like a few days before. And the thing is, having it on Friday is really annoying for pay-per-views.
Yeah, do you know what it was as well? It was Sean Courtney mentioned it last week in the chat, didn't he? Will we be reviewing Sacrifice? And we said, yeah, we would. And we were going, oh, it's on then, is it?
Yeah. They always had them on like it clashes with SmackDown.
Yeah.
But also Friday, it's a tough thing. Yeah. But then I suppose they can't really do Saturday.
Because we were talking in our Mania group as well, and we were thinking about going to Unbreakable.
When's that?
Unbreakable's in Vegas on the Thursday. So it's about $50 a ticket.
Oh, that's not too bad. Any word on matches or who's going to be there?
Nothing. No. Haven't even looked at it. I'm just saying there's a poster out there, all right, but I haven't delved into it and stuff but I haven't been to a TNA show in years.
Yeah. But then the thing is, you're in that city that weekend for wrestling, so you'll take whatever.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't believe that man was at Limp Bizkit. I didn't see him. I saw no evidence he was there. And I don't know why he. Yeah, but the funny thing is, I haven't seen a single positive thing about him.
The only thing about what he said, and I have to say this as well, whatever your views are on Conor McGregor personally and stuff like that, and all, he's not wrong in some of the stuff he said. You know what I mean? That like just letting undocumented people pour into your country and take over villages and all this kind of thing. Just like this is what's happening, and the problem for a lot of us is we're not in the cold face of it, and because we're not in the cold face of it, we think right, it's not our problem. But it could be my town or your town or anyone's town next. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you know, I'm not against immigration if it's handled the right way and all that kind of stuff. I'm not against helping out countries if they need it, if there's war and stuff like that. No, I'm not against any of that. But it needs to be in a more structured, proper kind of way, doesn't it? And then there needs to be a balance as well, where we kind of like we find a balance about people outside the country that we help and our own people in the country that we help that need our help. It's like as if, you know, we talk about our homeless issue here in this country, and I'm not a politician anyway, and we can never find the money to do things for that kind of stuff. But then when a war breaks out somewhere, we can find all these billions to accommodate other people who need help. It's just weird. Like, it's just weird.
We just need more houses to put them in. We need
not even that, but it has to there has to be some sort of control mechanism. You know what I mean? Like I can't just rock up to any other country and go, "Hi, I'm an immigrant. I need to come in here. You need to house me. You need to give me money. You need to do all this kind of thing." You don't do that. And I know, like the Irish in the past had to emigrate a lot, you know, to the UK and the US and all that kind of stuff and all that.
We're some of the biggest immigrants in the world.
Yeah. But there has to be a much more controlled way about doing it and stuff like that and all. And I'm not going to get into it on this. We don't need to get political on this show, but I just really think there's a better way of doing it. He probably maybe shouldn't be the voice of it, but the fact that he was there, I just found it weird that he was there. You know what I mean? And just all the other mystique that's going around and all the other stuff that's happened in the last 6 months, and you know. He just rocks up as the shiny politician with the turkey.
At the end of the day, it's down to the president who shows up. So I could have showed up, like, you know. So if you wanted to. But
my dream WWE return would be Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. Not a bad show.
I thought that would have happened ages ago, though. Oh, actually, just got some breaking news for you, Bloodsport fans. Okay. Pete Dunne is going to be competing at Bloodsport in WrestleMania weekend. So that is Pete Dunne and Natalia from WWE both competing at Bloodsport.
Interesting.
That's going to be delicious. That is on the 17th of April at 8 p.m., which will be 1 a.m., I think.
That's the Thursday.
Yeah, and it is free on. If you have a Thriller TV subscription, you get it for free with the GCW Collective. So watch it. Bloodsport's my favorite show.
All four of us will have to find someone with a Thriller TV.
Bloodsport is my favorite show of Mania weekend by far. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, sorry, I looked like he had severe jaundice in last week's AEW. Thought Conor McGregor spoke straight facts. He was talking the truth. I take a lot of it. I don't think all of it. I think a lot of it. You know, I'm not beating the messenger in any way. There's a lot there to agree with and stuff like that. That there's a lot there that can't be argued with. But just, you know. It's not necessarily that I don't want people coming into the country. I just think it needs to be handled in a much better way. And I think we're not very good at doing that. That's Mary Robinson's fault in 1993 about immigration. The issue is not immigration. The issue is about the control mechanisms. It's the same thing that's lacking through the whole government and control mechanisms. They don't have control mechanisms for spending money, for where money's allocated, for budgets, for all this kind of thing. They don't do any of that. That's why projects overspend. That's why projects don't get completed. That's why things run out of money, because no one takes responsibility and no one puts in controls. And that's at every single level in the government. You'll find that. Crazy. It's not just that. Kenny, big up Kenny with Connor. It was the right message with the wrong messenger. Good show, Kenny. Good show. Kenny's going to Vegas as well. Kenny, don't forget we gotta link up, man. We gotta stay in touch about what we're doing. I'll let you know if we've booked or we're heading down, so we can meet up and have a few pints, as they say. Fair play to him. Agree to everything he said. Yeah, I don't totally agree with everything, but like he's not far off it. Let's be honest. Right, let's take a little bit closer to home. Let's go OTT. Right, so talk to me.
Homecoming, one of their big shows. My first ever OTT show was actually Homecoming in the National Basketball Arena in Tala. Unbelievable show. Without it, I would have never found OTT or Irish wrestling or the scene for Irish wrestling as a whole. So this is a very big show because, well, it's in the Ambassador Theatre in Dublin. I think I've heard people say since the Tivoli closed that the Ambassador should have been a permanent venue, the permanent venue that Tivoli was. And I saw an inside of it set up. Man, it is I haven't been in there for anything, but it is gorgeous. And it seems so perfect for wrestling. And unfortunately,
I like the Tivoli, such a legendary location in Dublin and in Ireland. So many bands have gone through there, the likes of Disturbed and all. And, you know, like it's the Ambassador's famous. Like it's, you know, everyone knows the Ambassador at the end of O'Connell Street. Everyone knows it.
And this is being promoted by MCD, not OTT. So you know something's going on. So this looks like a brilliant show, and unfortunately, one of the few times OTT have a show on when I'm not working and I can't go Fortunately, going to Pantera and Limp Bizkit back to back has put me on on house arrest for the time being. But I'll be catching this on demand. Yeah, I'll be catching this on demand. But I am going to Scrapmania, and tickets are on sale. They haven't announced anyone for it, especially not any imports. I have a feeling we'll get some news here. But the fact that ringside is $92.50 for a ticket makes me think they've got someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've set the bar, so that bar has to keep on. They have to at least reach the bar every time now. They can't fall below that bar.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts? Talk to me about the matches and stuff like that. Obviously, man like the Reese versus Elijah, formerly Elias, who I really liked. I thought he was
yeah. I absolutely loved Elias. Pity I won't be seeing him. He's doing a meet and greet as well. I forgot. You would forget when you only see him playing the guitar. He's actually very good in ring. I think his first match back, not his first match back, his first match on the Indies after the 90 days expired with WWE was against Speedball at some indie. And Speedball's great. Man, he looked really, really good.
Yeah.
A man like Reese is a lot of fun. He's been popping up in GCW in America. Apparently him and is it Rio, I think, have been eyed up by WWE to get signed. So big things in the future. He's facing Elijah. The rapper versus the guitar player in Dublin. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'd say man like Reese more than likely.
Yeah, this needs to end up in a kind of a slap nut situation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This needs an absolute impaling of a guitar or something like that. You know what I mean? That's really cool.
That's going to be amazing. The 6-3-1 match, OTT have done these matches where it's like a multi-man match, and then it turns into a 3-way. It's just that. So it's a 6-man tag, which is 6. The winning team then face off in 3-way, which is 3. And then one man eats the pin, 1. Just in case you think it's 6-3, 1 thing. Which you probably did, but I feel smart explaining it, so I felt like I have to. Cara Noir, Callum Black, and Keane Noonan versus Michael Oku, Limo, and Robbie X. You know about Keane Noonan, had a feud with LJ. He got eliminated from the Loco Rumble by LJ Cleary, and he ended up shoving Foxy and walking away. So I think he's developing an attitude. I think that will show. Callum Black has come back. He was really hot before COVID. He didn't come back after COVID. He only came back a couple months ago. So he's still good, but he's kind of trying to get to the heights that he got to. Because, he took the pin in that multi-man match at the Rumble. He got eliminated from the Rumble despite coming in at number 28, a really, really good spot. And then Cara Noir is amazing. And then on the other team, you have Robbie X, who is in the Bullet Club, who has been a mainstay in OTT pretty much since they come back, and he's absolutely phenomenal. You have Limo, probably one of the brightest young stars OTT has at the minute, very popular with the crowd. Do love a bit of Limo. Famous 3-arena security guard Limo as well. That's his other gimmick. And then Michael Oku, who was absolutely stellar and had match of the weekend that did involve the WWE Tag Team Champions at OTT's 10th year anniversary.
Yeah.
I think Oku, Limo, and Robbie X will win. Their team will win. And then I think Oku will probably win. Because no one, if anyone gets in that crab, they're done. The half crab is so brutal. I'm going to skip Sammy D and Trent Seven. I'm going to go to Sadie Gibbs and Myla Grace because those are very important matches that I feel have to be addressed. So Sadie Gibbs, Myla Grace. This is Myla Grace's first match back in Ireland because she went on a tour of Japan. Went pretty well, but I saw she botched Michinoku driver. And Taka Michinoku personally called her out on Twitter. So, if that happened to me, I'd probably just start crying and retire. It was so disappointing, and but she has been talking shit about Raven Creed, the OC Women's Champion, and Raven just said the good old Will Smith thing: "Keep your name out of my mouth." And then Raven Creed beat Rio at the Belfast show, the aftermath show after the local Rumble in Belfast, which Myla Grace was on commentary for that match, and they got into a bit of fisticuffs. So feel with Martina out of the picture and Myla
back in,
rising through back in. I think she's building up towards towards a shot. And Sadie Gibbs is really, really talented.
So you're expecting Myla to win this and then go on and face Raven at Scrapper?
Yeah, at some I think it's
Scrapper.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Then CBL, the Longford lad, not too far from my part of the world, with Peter Gandy, who CBL said used to work in the Ambassador when it was a cinema. He's that old versus Charlie Sterling. So CBL has brought his old GAA coach Peter Gandy.
Yeah.
Peter Gandy's a fat old fool. Niall complains, can barely get it like up and down from the ring apron, and he ended up eliminating CBL by mistake. Not by mistake, at the Rumble. I think Corvin threw him into Peter Gandy's arms. Peter Gandy carried him and was marching slowly towards the apron, and he blew his back out. You know, because he's like 70 or from the Stone Age. And Peter Gandy is trying to get CBL back on track because didn't win the Rumble. He didn't win the gender neutral championship that Jay won at the Christmas party that we had Lyra against Charlie Sterling, who's the European champion. I talk about Limo being bright. CBL has been on the top of Fight Factory for ages, and he's making a lot of waves in OTT. He's getting very popular with the crowd. But there's going to be some Gandhi-esque shenanigans, Gandhi-esque foolishness that is going to cause him to lose. So a win for Charlie Sterling. And the reason that I wanted to speak about Sammy D and Trent Seven last is because, as you know, Sammy D and Trent Seven came second and third in the local Rumble.
Yeah.
So that meant that they have to team up and get a tag title, compete for the tag titles at some point. I think, in Belfast, the main event was Social Elite versus Sanity for the tag titles. Social Elite won, but after the match, Sammy D and Trent Seven attacked them. Seemed like they were on the right page. Then Trent Seven abandoned Sammy to get destroyed by Damo and Eric Young and Axel Tischer and everyone. And they had an interview saying the respect is kind of there, but they're still not like friends, and it was getting kind of hostile. So they decided they're going to pick opponents from their past for each other to see like where they are and to earn that respect. Sammy D is facing someone from that Trent Seven has picked. Trent Seven's picked someone that Sammy D has picked. Hasn't been a lot of talk about Trent, but I can tell you OTT have pretty much all but confirmed that Sammy D is facing Pete Dunne, which is incredibly exciting because Pete Dunne was a former OTT world champion. He used to come out to Bring Me the Horizon, Can You Feel My Heart? There's a line in that song, I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. So Joe tweeted, quite cryptically, can demons swim?
Yeah.
I mean, who else could it be? And then they put out like a video package, I'd recommend checking out. It's on OTT's Twitter by Jeff Doyle. It was Sammy D talking about how big the Ambassador Cinema is.
Yes, very good.
And he said, I hope it's you, I'm praying it's you. And they showed like a face with like blacked out eyes that is quite obviously Pete Dunne. So
you also got the
yeah. So Sammy D versus Pete Dunne is pretty much all but confirmed. But the thing is, we've been so focused on Sammy D.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much speculation at all on who Trent Seven could face. Pete Dunne is from Trent Seven's past.
Yeah.
So I would assume it would be someone from Sammy's past. And the only one, and the reason not two, the only one I can think of is Be Cool and Big Damo are having a contract signing on this show. Because they're facing for OTT. I would say Justy. But I don't, and that's just because like there's probably others, but I don't think that would have the same serious, emotional, competitive edge that Sammy D.
Could he have thrown a bit of gasoline on this? Could we get Mr. Squats in there?
My God, it's could
we get the pairing?
Like Sammy D goes to the back and changes into his gymnastics gear.
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Pete Dunne's ex-tag partner.
Oh.
I'm talking about Mr. Squats.
Yeah. That could also be great. I think like I hate to say I've nothing prepared for Trent Seven thing because I genuinely haven't a foggiest notion who we could face.
Tyler Bate.
But they have promised that there is going to be surprises for Pete Dunne, but also elsewhere. So I have no idea, but I presume Trent Seven would win. But the thing is, I don't know if doing this will improve Sammy D and Trent Seven's relationship because they're still not quite there. Because Sammy D has ballsed over Trent Seven a number of times. Trent Seven's beaten Sammy D twice in Wolverhampton, once in Dublin for the OTT World Championship.
Could they do a Judgment Day kind of distraction kind of thing where one of them cost the other their match?
Yeah, I can see that. Speaking of Judgment Day, Sheamus.
Yeah.
Finn. Yeah. I don't know. But no, this is...
It'd be interesting. It's like... Because Pete Dunne is such a brilliant wrestler.
Oh, amazing.
Performer. But I always go that dynamic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. It always seems to go hand in hand, isn't it? It's like milk and tea.
Absolutely. They complete each other. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. But this is a huge show. Really looking forward to it. And I cannot wait to see who we have for Scrapmania, which will take place May 3rd. And I'm sure I'll return, hopefully with company.
If that was to happen as well. Weren't those three boys together at one stage in a stable? Trent, Tyler and Pete, was it? Back in the day?
I don't believe. Hang on. Did they? Hang on. They remind me of a team that won a loser leaves town match that designed for them to leave for WWE and then held the belts for 2 years and defended them once.
Yeah.
No, am I thinking of the right guys? British Strongs? No, I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. That'd be a good idea. Fuck's sake. No, that would be.
I think it was. I think you're right. It's very strong style.
I swear I've been watching the shows. No, but look, I'm really looking forward to this card. And I can't wait to see what it sets up for Scrapmania.
Imagine it was the three guys, or the two guys, and the three guys just beat the BJs as out of Sammy D.
I don't know if it'd be taken well because I remember they beat the Kings at Scrapmania.
Yeah.
They were meant to be leaving for WWE. Very strong start. So it was all but confirmed they were losing, and then they won. So the Kings couldn't wrestle in Dublin for a year, but then they wrestled. Very strong start. Wrestled in Belfast once and never showed up again. The thing is, less than a day before the show, Tyler Bate would be pulled because of injury. Yeah. And obviously, it's really unfortunate, but it would happen every single time. Every single time.
Yeah.
So the fans lost patience very quickly.
Yeah.
And then they were stripped of the belts when OTT came back.
Could this be a monumental way of bringing the Kings back in?
Yeah, well, Corvin came back with them at the Rumble. And that was just, I don't know if that was a legit them come back together. Part of me thinks it was just a loophole for Corvin to get in because he was suspended.
Yes.
Damien Court, but Bonesaw and Duncan Sorley were not suspended and tag teams entered as one. So I don't know, but I'm very excited to see where we go from here. No doubt it will be a banger of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly interesting to see. Well, anyway, great news that released, I think, last night or this morning. Clash at the Castle, Road to Clash at the Castle in Paris, and of course, what an event we're getting in Dublin. Friday, August the 22nd, SmackDown, the live TV taping. Finally, we get it. Feels like something that should have been in the Aviva or something. August 22nd, probably decent weather, fingers crossed. I know August doesn't guarantee us anything in Ireland. It can lash rain, it can snow.
2025 SmackDown in a stadium. Come on now.
Hey.
I don't know. I will say, I think in terms of Dublin, this is we won't go to it now, but it's a good tie-in into the price gouging section. I am very excited for this, but I'm also extremely nervous because
this is going to cost money, isn't it?
I am going to log on to pre-sale and I'm going to start sobbing at nosebleed tickets because
this will be so excited about TV taping, and no thanks.
Yes, no, I'll just watch it from home. No, but it's great that even though it's only SmackDown, it's great that we're finally getting a show. We've been owed a show for 5 years.
Yeah.
with NXT UK Takeover Dublin falling through the way it did. It's great that we finally got one. I will say, SmackDown's the weakest brand they have now. But I would rather take SmackDown over No Show or House Show. I'm very happy because Dublin, Birmingham, and Leon are the only places here where there's TV tapings. The rest of these are house shows. If Dublin was a house show, I don't know if I'd be arsed. Like, I'm sure it'd be good, but they've been coming to Dublin since 2009.
Yeah.
And they've sold well every time, got amazing crowds. They've never done anything but a house show. Then they were going to do a pay-per-view, didn't happen. Now we're getting TV. So it's a huge deal. I heard people talk about this. They often bring in, when they're overseas, they bring in local guys for security or anything. So I'm wondering how many people I'm going to spot. If there is like a pull-apart brawl or anything like that, I'm wondering how many OTT people I'm gonna see. So that'll be fun.
Eric, this is 100% going to be triple figures.
Yep,
100%.
They're actually in Belfast on Saturday.
Yeah,
same day as Homecoming. I think 130 something for a not that great seat, like what was left. So unfortunately, I
looked up Alanya, big money. I looked up Raw in Glasgow, big money.
Yeah, get excited, but fear the worst. Go in with a deep breath and with your loved ones close to you.
And listen. If you're not the kind of guy that goes to WrestleMania or goes across the water to pay-per-views or gets some money in the bank in the UK or gets to go to a clash or whatever, then do it. It may not be back here ever again. You may not ever get another SmackDown TV taping live and stuff like that and all. So,
but that's the trap. They say we can charge these prices because they're going to pay and we might never come back. I will say, though, apart from Dublin, I'm very happy that Leon is getting a show, a televised show. And if I'm not wrong, I think the arena, the LDLC arena, was the same place they held Backlash.
Yeah, there you go. British strong stuff.
I don't think I... No, of course. Pardon me. Yeah, British strong stuff.
Yeah,
amazing team. It's just a shame that Tyler Bate got injured as frequently as he did, so we didn't get to.
Do you know? I have a theory on this that the 22nd of August, the Dublin SmackDown, that it might be cheaper, the Leon one, to fly to Leon, get a hotel room, and go to SmackDown in Leon. May end up cheaper than trying to get a ticket for the Dublin show.
And think about how hotels and hostels and stuff are going to abuse this. You see, like these posts, and it's like hotels before Oasis was announced.
Yeah,
it's like 100, and then it says after, and it's like 300, 400 for a night. So they're gonna abuse this. But no, the fact we're getting, as I said, I can't believe they've been coming to Dublin this long. Never brought a camera there to film. I wonder how the three arenas going to look on TV, because I've seen it for UFC and I've seen it for Bellator.
It looks really impressive.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
That UFC Dublin and all look really impressive.
Yeah,
and the Bellator events look really impressive if the stages weren't so cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, literally a bit of a ramp, a few stairs. That's it. There's a cage.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, absolutely. So that's that. Right. Let's quickly talk about gouging, and then we'll do our bit of history. Where am I on that? Actually?
Yeah, a bleak way. There better not be any bad stuff in the history, because we're going to get very upset here, and then we have to talk about people we love who passed away.
Right. Well, we're going to start with the worst one, right? Probably the worst one for you. $25,000.
How can you hear what he said? Yeah. How can you hear what he said to us on Raw, and then go, man, fuck you, Cena. Oh yeah, Can I have dinner with you? I'll pay you 25 grand. Look, yeah, it's John Cena.
My first question on this was: is the cost of the meal included, or is that like the add-on ticket?
Surely not. Yeah, I mean, I love John Cena. I'd do anything for him, apart from eat at a 5-star restaurant for 25 grand with him.
Keith, I can guarantee you now, you will not get a ticket for 200 quid.
And if you do, it'll be like a StubHub fake reseller. And even then, you'll be like, that's too much.
I'd say the nosebleeds right up the back, the very back, €300. No problem.
No.
Tell you. None of this tickets start at $96.50 up to $1,500. $96.50 doesn't exist in anyone's world. It's a lie. It ain't going to happen. You're going to be dropping at least 3 bars on this. So
per person as well. So if you want to bring your friends or family, your salary.
Yeah, if you're a kind of dad like me who brings the kids to stuff and all, we were at Limp Bizkit on Tuesday. Cost me that was a £500 day out.
Yeah, my God. But then but you're paying £500 for a couple of people. Paying something like that for a single ticket is fucking ridiculous. Yeah. And I can't even imagine there's going to be like VIP stuff, and ringside and packages and all that. I don't know. I will say, if you need a fanny pack, get the VIP, because I got one when I was in 3 Arena and I've been wearing it to gigs. It's the greatest thing I've ever gotten.
Can you imagine how much they'll charge for the VIP?
Probably 3 times what they're charging for dinner for John Cena.
The only thing I'd say about this mate with John Cena is now that he's turned heel, you can sit across from him and you'll see him.
He doesn't say anything to you. Can you imagine that? No, that's the catch. He just scowls at you and doesn't say anything. And
yeah, absolutely.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
This is insane. This on location crowd are just unbelievable. I seen two brunches for WrestleMania on the Saturday and Sunday. I think they're £400 a piece, $3.95 each or something.
Sure,
like
even Ticketmaster will probably be disgusted with this.
Yeah.
I will say
this is one of these ones where Ticketmaster would get sick of this.
Yeah, TKO are the premier combat sports promotion, but also the premier ticket gouging scum.
Yeah, they're also the one that make their fans of their product feel beat up.
Yeah, but at the same point, just like all these artists, Ticketmaster and all this, they ruin it, but they ruin it with permission.
Yeah, this is legalized touting, isn't it? They found a way to legalize touting, basically,
and it is robbing. And this isn't just applying to wrestling. This is music and the live arts. It is robbing, especially young people. It's robbing people of getting to go out and enjoy their lives. Because I can tell you, going to a good wrestling show or a good concert is the best therapy on the planet, bar none.
Yeah,
like I felt so good during Limp Bizkit. I didn't think of my problems even once, and that is a really beneficial thing you can do. And they are robbing it from people.
Well, see, they brought you back to '99, so you weren't even born. This was back to the future levels.
Yeah, 5 years before I hit
you were looking at pictures on your phone during the gig, and your pictures were starting to disappear.
Yeah,
like Back to the Future.
I can just say I saw an interview with Kurt Cobain, like before when he was live, and he was speechless at Madonna charging £50 for a ticket for a tour. Can you imagine he was still with us?
Oh God.
But the worst thing is he'd probably be charging.
Yeah, he'd be charging a fortune. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
someone's got to pay for that habit.
Yeah. Now, the fact you showed this first makes me think that this is only barely scratching the surface, which worries me.
It is only scratching the surface, but this is probably the worst one. Keith, please don't come on here and try to justify the Taker one is cheaper.
Come on. Niall, you could have cut him some slack. He's charging 15 grand less than John Cena.
Did you know he's actually charging less because of the lack of take up? Both Taker and Hogan have reduced the prices of their hospitality boxes.
I don't know what the worst thing is. It's not the idea. Getting to hang out with The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan, who are like two heroes, it sounds great. It's too much money. The same way that I would love to have an intimate meal with John Cena at Fight Tower Restaurant during Mania weekend. It's 25 grand. I don't have 25 grand. Even if I did, I wouldn't.
Do you know what I was thinking? Like, if we won the Euro Millions, we could get a couple of us to do it, and we could give them an old-fashioned Irish beatdown at the mill.
Yeah.
Imagine we just batter them at the mill.
Just put him on the Lewis. But the thing is, I saw Brian Zane say this. He did a segment on like the top, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret. He does a segment at the end of the year where like the top 5 worst things about the year. And he said, WWE can get a time machine and bring back all of my favorite wrestlers and yours in their prime, and it still won't be worth the prices that they're charging now.
No,
it's so unfortunate, and I hope something. But then the thing is, like, what can you do? Because at the end of the day, WWE has always been, the political party, people before profit.
Well, see, it's the football dynamic, isn't it? Because unless you fought with your feet and unless everyone's willing to do it, you're not going to make a dent in it. Because there will be people who book this. Make no mistake about it. There's people who'll do this.
I'll
No doubt.
probably be
No.
stupid enough to do it, but like it's as you say, this might never happen again. We might never get WB for anything other than the house show in Dublin again. So you want to be there.
So this is the Hall of Fame one.
Oh my
Which is already grating on me as the way they pulled the stunt with the SmackDown ticket.
And the man who runs the company is headlining it and he's making you pay these prices. When you said Hall of Fame, I thought, oh, who did they induct someone like really bad? Come on, that's not worth the slide. But then I see this and I'm like,
$8.5 grand, $2.5 grand, and 9,950 for the Legend package.
Yeah.
Which basically gives you Luger and Michelle McCool at WrestleCon are probably $60.
Yeah.
Hunter, if he was there, let's give the benefit of the doubt, he'd be marquee, so he's probably going to be $250, $300.
Yeah.
So there you have, for argument's sake, let's round it up to $500. So to get your picture on the Hall of Fame stage,
my God,
to have a front row camera side seat,
front row seat,
to meet the three of them we spoke about, premium gift, dedicated priority pass entrance, and a professional on location on-site support staff.
So
is that when you pass out because of what you got for what you paid?
Yeah. So a Bash in Berlin flag, early entry, and a member of staff doing their job.
And a Welsh Clash at the Castle jersey or something that didn't sell or something like that because it was like a Rangers jersey.
I say Bash in Berlin flag because that's one of the things they were offering for the VIPs in Dublin. Yeah. I got the fanny pack instead. Well worth it. But yeah, 9 per person.
I knew Keith. I was drawing you out. I knew.
Yeah, not Keith always love. But yeah, 9,950 per person.
Per person.
And I guarantee you there's going to be fees and there's going to be insurance, which is optional, but most people do it. You know, on Ticketmaster, you can protect tickets.
So you're basically, this is what you're doing for a dedicated entrance, a premium gift. Let's suppose it's even a mini belt or a Hall of Fame medallion thing that gets signed or whatever it is. A dedicated entrance, support staff, and front row seating, and a picture on the podium. You're paying nearly $9.5 grand for.
Yeah.
Because the others
over 9.5. Yeah.
Well, no, the other bit is what you would pay to meet Michelle McCool, Triple H.
Yeah.
Which you're getting to do as well. So I've knocked 500 off for that. So 9,450 for all the other garbage.
Yeah.
And then it moves down as per the price, and it's absolutely crazy. And we've seen worse stuff as well. They're also doing, I told you, the double brunch on the Saturday and Sunday mornings at 11. And what it is basically your breakfast and cocktails and all the usual buffet stuff that goes with it. And it's $400 as far as I know for the privilege of meeting Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and I can't remember the other one.
I wouldn't even pay half that for.
I remember. And then the other one on the Sunday is Chelsea Green and Rikishi. And based on the stories that came out from Kurt Angle about Rikishi not wiping his backside, I don't know whether I could sit and have breakfast with the guy.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's putting you off that. Not that he's charging 400 quid per just to have breakfast.
The 400 quid is putting me off. I know breakfast in Vegas can be expensive, but come on.
The most important meal of the day.
It is. After lunch, dinner, and tea.
Yes.
Absolutely. But this is gouging at a different level. Like this is we've already spoke about this. When this product becomes unaffordable for people who are fans, not people who have money. No one wants to be sitting on a couch in Riyadh watching Crown Jewel. We understand that. That's a different world. But unfortunately, that world is not Vegas. That world is not Dublin. That world is not Clash at the Castle. That world is a very select world. And that world is trying to get spread through the rest of this wrestling world. And it doesn't really work that way. And I would say to people out there, if you do have the money and the wealth to be doing these things, don't do it because you're ruining it overall going forward. Because eventually what happens is the actual wrestling fans, and this will affect the shows as well, because the actual wrestling fans who want to be there and support the guys and the girls that they love and all this kind of thing, the stuff we grew up on, won't be able to afford to go to these. And when they can't go, no fans, no show.
Yep. And Niall, I know I've never had the privilege of going to WrestleMania. And if it keeps like this, I probably never will. But you've gone. even for one person, I know like it costs loads because you're going with mates, but just for one person, has it ever been this bad?
Never.
Never. I mean, that's just
never. This has never happened. I'm used to the Hall of Fame being free within the package. I'm used to the Hall of Fame being free on the SmackDown ticket. That's why we bought the SmackDown tickets. Now they're after pulling another stunt. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine
my first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 22. I got the silver package, which gave me WrestleMania, Raw, Hall of Fame, a Midday Madness autograph session, a bagels and brunch session, like a breakfast thing, right? Plus merchandise, plus Hall of Fame merchandise when we went there and all that kind of stuff. €560, I think it worked out at. €560. The equivalent of WrestleMania night 1 ticket. And that also gave us 3 nights in the hotel, in a 4-star hotel.
Where was Mania that year? Was it Detroit?
No, it was Chicago, the All-State Arena.
My God. And look,
I was seeing a Triple H, remember?
Yeah.
Kings.
I was just trying to remember the city because like that could factor, but also the arena size. But that doesn't even matter. The thing is, every year I always say, I'll go to Mania someday. Going to try for next year. Like I walk around travel agents in Cavan and I see posters. I always want to go, but if it keeps going like this,
they're all scalpers.
The closest I will be to going to WrestleMania is just watching it on telly.
Yeah,
and that is genuinely,
and that's really sad as well, because for a wrestling fan, that's a bucket list. That's your bucket list moment. Absolutely. WrestleMania, 70, 80,000, massive stadium, huge entrance.
The same way people watch other stuff, it's a bucket list thing for them to see the Super Bowl, or to see the NBA finals, or to see the World Series finals, or anything like that. Like it's just what they have done is they've taken something we love, wrestling, and they've taken it away from the working man. Yeah. I mean, outside like Ted and Duke, careful. Yeah, you go. I dare do it, please. Or to do that outside Titan Towers would be even worse. But like, Jen, it is so sad because like it makes it. Yeah, like the thing is, AEW, we give them a lot of faults. Some rightfully, some mostly rightfully. My Wembley seats for like 30 quid a pop, and that is an 80,000 seater stadium in the UK. And I had an amazing experience. And as long as TKO and UFC and WWE continue to do this and continue to destroy any chance of anyone being able to attend these shows, we'll never get that. But one of the worst thing is they will gouge the hell out of this and Dublin, and they'll come out and they'll say it's the highest grossing event in WWE history, which is very impressive until you realize what they charged.
Yeah.
Highest grossing will be they charged a reasonable price, but so many people came and so many other people bought it.
Yeah.
It sucks. And I'm very angry now.
Yeah.
My God.
It's frustrating. It's just really, really frustrating, you know what I mean? And it's wrong, you know. And we see the same thing unfolding with football as well, where young kids can't go to football matches because they're so expensive, yet they love the teams and their fans and all. It's just the gouging is unreal at every level these days, you know.
Yeah. It's destroying.
I was listening to 2 girls on TikTok the other night. They went into a bar in Vegas the other night. It was $40 to get into this bar, just to get in. And when they got in, they ordered 4 vodka and Red Bulls. The 4 vodka and Red Bulls were $300.
Yeah, you were telling me that. I think that's.
This is.
I'll say this. I saw an ad, like a poster. Piracy is killing football, and I'm like, piracy is not killing football. Price gouging is. Same thing at wrestling. Same thing with everything else. And I hope that it can change.
Piracy is keeping football alive.
Yeah.
They just need to cop onto it and make it affordable for people.
A lot of people.
Let's get into this. Yeah. We'll do our history and then we'll get out of here, as they say.
I'm not happy. I'm in a mood now.
I'll try and cheer you up somewhat. Okay. So 2000, one of the most acclaimed wrestling documentaries of all time, Beyond the Mat, was released nationwide in cinemas in the USA. Film directed by Barry Blaustein, took a look at the professional and family life of professional wrestlers from the smallest independent companies all the way up to the top echelons of WWE. Really, Beyond the Mat was really it was nearly the first Dark Side of the Ring. By the way, Dark Side of the Ring back next week, by the way, folks, as well. So
absolutely.
Keep an eye out for that. So much content at the moment. Oh, and a shout out as well. If you haven't watched Adolescence yet on Netflix, Amazing. Check it out. 2002, WrestleMania 18 took place in front of 68,237 fans at the Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
My way.
Imagine a ticket for that was probably $20. My way, yeah, absolutely. But of course, Hogan and Rock, of course, was the electricity in the building that overshadowed.
No. I'm thinking 17 at My Way.
No, 17 was My Way. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Didn't even have a video package for the main event of 18. Did you know that?
That's right. Yeah.
Went from My Way to literally nothing.
My way to no way.
Yeah. My way to the highway.
There you go. Yeah. Where are we? 2002, the night after WrestleMania 18, WWF Monday Night Raw was in Montreal, Quebec. The show was most famous for the debut of Brock Lesnar, interfering in a hardcore match between Maven and Al Snow. Lesnar took out both men before delivering 3 vicious powerbombs to an unfortunate Spike Dudley. Shout out to Spike Dudley and Maven.
The last generation's Darby Allin.
There you go. True. The original Alan.
Yeah.
2006, WWE brought back Saturday night's main event. The NBC broadcast was main evented by a Shane McMahon victory over Shawn Michaels. The victory was reenactment of the famous Montreal screw job with Vince McMahon calling for the bell.
Main event Shane McMahon.
Yeah, main event Shane McMahon.
Shane's probably my favorite of the McMahons, but that is absurd.
Yeah, absolutely.
My God.
Vince McMahon calling for the bell while Shane held Michaels in the sharpshooter. There we go.
Oh, my God.
1983 in a non-title champion versus champion match in Madison Square Garden, New York. WWF champion Bob Backlund defeated Intercontinental champion Don Morocco in a Texas death match. It's gone back a bit. 1984.
Death match. The AW Texas death matches are death matches.
What do we reckon a ticket costs for that? Probably about $2, $3.
MSG
in 1983. I must see can I find the poster for that for next week's show, and I'm going to see what some of these shows cost. I'm also going to look up what the tickets costed for WrestleManias up to around 2021. And
I'd say MSG, Garden. MSG, I'd say would maybe boost it a little bit, but still like pennies compared to what we have now.
$5 would get you a great scene, I'd say.
Yeah.
1984, WWF WrestleMania 10 was held at Madison Square Garden in New York in front of 19,444 fans. This was the first WrestleMania that didn't have Hulk Hogan on the card.
Jesus.
And was the first time the WWF Championship was defended twice in one night at a WrestleMania pay-per-view event. There you go.
Wow.
It also featured the first televised ladder match in company history to determine the undisputed WWF Intercontinental Champion.
Was that when they just had the one-sided ladder and the ref had to hold it up? Or was
that was Jake's first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This one was Shawn and Razor, wasn't it?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah,
WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, and that was, I think, if I remember, the only good thing on that show. That was brilliant. But the rest of the show was shocking.
Yeah, well, the two title matches were weird.
Yeah, WB didn't know how to do WrestleManias back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some would argue still don't know how, but
yeah. Let's get into notable birthdays here. We have some good ones. We have a nice mix this week.
Okay.
We start off with Brody King, 1987.
Hey.
The Samoan Bulldozer, Samoa Joe, 1979.
Nice.
Sadly, 1975, Test, who sadly passed away. What a man Test was.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan in there, 1967.
Hey.
There we go.
Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan. Adore him. I didn't mean to make that pun. NWA Billy Corgan. He's trying his best.
Rick the Model Martel, 1956.
Rick Martel was exceptional, wasn't it?
You don't know how tough it was for me to put him in there as the model when I'm so attached to him as the Can-Am connection on Strike Force.
Yeah.
So that was tough when Tom Zink left, remember?
Have to give the people what they want, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. 1987 to lighten the mood a bit, AJ Lee.
Oh.
And of course, 1983, Matt Sydal.
Matt Sydal, yeah. I like Matt Sydal a lot of time.
A referee, 1962, Jimmy Corderas, who actually has a podcast himself, doesn't he? He was very good.
Not Stefan Artos.
And a man we spoke about before, 1977, one Homicide. Excellent.
Who is retiring on Thursday, I think.
Okay.
And there's been no word on it. Like, it's shocking, terrible.
It is. Him and Hernandez were awesome.
God. And on his own, like that match with Brian Dynaston and his whole career.
The whole LAX thing was cool, wasn't it?
God. Speaking of Spike Dudley, did you see the border toss that Hernandez gave him on TNA onto the ladder?
Oh, God.
I would have loved Mike Awesome versus Darby Allin, and I would have loved Brody King versus Spike Dudley.
There you go.
Now that we're...
And then we rounded out with the man who was on his final year of displaying the face paint, 1959, one Sting.
When you said the man on his final year, I was about to give you the fingers because I thought it was John Cena. And then I remember he's April. And I'm like, oh, Sting. Okay, we like Sting. That's good.
Yeah, no, if I was to mention John Cena's notable birthday, they might charge me. So
unnotable birthday. Yeah, 25 grand.
There we go.
Just to insult you.
So there you go, folks. That's it. Lots of price gouging, lots to look forward to. Big show this week in the Ambassador for OTT. Make sure you go and support local wrestling as always. We will be back next week. We'll keep us going on the road to WrestleMania. We will be highlighting any more price gouging. Be aware. Don't do it. It's not worth it because we will put it out there as always. And I'll come back with some ticket prices. I'm going to do a deep dive this week into ticket prices from back way when, and I'm sure it will absolutely be alarming at where the business has gone.
Yeah,
it certainly hasn't moved with inflation, that's for sure. So until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, have a safe week as always. Drop a like on the video, most important when you're sharing it and stuff like that as well. And we will talk again real soon. Sean, pleasure as always.
Thank you, Niall, for inviting me. Please pay reasonable prices for your tickets for events. Support the art industry, support wrestling, support your wallet. Money is the root.